What is up, guys? Welcome to RZ Jones 18's YouTube channel, and today we will be discussing everything that I got announced Motu wise from the Mattel panel, and what we learned about Chronicles and what we learned about Origins. So, the Mattel panel happened on Friday, and Pixel Dan put up the whole panel on his YouTube channel. If you want to go watch it, had a lot of information in it, and it discussed everything going on with Origins and with Chronicles moving forward. We did get confirmations of a couple things. So, number one, Masterverse Cartoon Collection and 2000X Cartoon Collection are still put on the hiatus going into next year from what it looks like, because they're really focusing on certain aspects of Origins, and they're really going to push Chronicles next year from what it looks like. This year was a soft launch of Chronicles. Next year is when the big launch begins, from what it seems to be. So, we're going to discuss the creation exclusives first that we got announced at Comic-Con. First off, we're finally getting Too Bad. I feel like I talk about this stuff enough. Eventually it appears. I did that with the Slime Pit and Fright Zone, and then we got them. And then it happened again with Too Bad. I'm so happy that we're finally getting a proper Origins Too Bad, so I can finally retire my current vintage one into some part of my collection somewhere, don't know where. Very excited for that. But the other big one, we kind of figured it be coming because of this guy right here. Ironically, I knew I needed him. We're getting Laser Power Skeletor. Very, very, very excited. I'm assuming Too Bad will be probably the either August or September creation release, and we'll end the year with Skeletor. However, they could be really mean and flip those and make us wait till the end of the year to get Too Bad. They totally could if they wanted to. That would be mean, but we'll see. But those were our two big creations exclusives of the event, were Skeletor and Too Bad. No mentions of the '86 movie figures. Pixel Dan also did his walkthrough of the Mattel booth, and he asked about, we've all been asking, are we going to complete the original 1982 toy line? And they did mention that we will not be getting the 3 movie figures, which is unfortunate because they're part of the final 11 that we need, which are Gwildor, Sarad, and Blade. So not happy that they're not going to be there. He asked about the Giants. We haven't really heard anything about them, and again, staying very quiet. I don't know why. PowerCon is in September, so I'm hoping that we get a couple more announcements at PowerCon this year, and I'm hoping to be at PowerCon this September from the 12th to the 13th. That is a plan of mine. I really, and I took the weekend off a year in advance, forgetting what it was, but it's PowerCon here in Ohio, and I really want to go this yeit's one of my big things I want to do this year is PowerCon. And so I'm trying to get things situated for that, but I will let you guys know when it happens, and what we'll be doing there when it happens, because Pixel Dan will be there. I finally get to meet him. Like, it's such a big deal for me to get to meet some of these people. Like, that's why I keep so many of my boxes, so I can go, hey, I want you to sign that. Like, I want Pixel Dan to sign my Eternia poster. Like, that's a big thing for me, is I really want him to sign the Eternia poster. But back to what we saw from Comic-Con. So, Origins. So, they are doing a revised version of Origins for mass retail again. And they are no longer in these kind of boxes. I would say they're more along the lines of these Transformer boxes, because they're adding in Build-A-Figures. And I am of two minds of this. One, it makes you buy the entire wave. So that's Mattel using their money smarts correctly. Good on them. But as a collector, I'm going to miss out on 2 really key minions to Skeletor just because I want to buy these figures again. I already have everybody. Now, the Man-at-Arms with the battle damage stuff is pretty cool, but I, again, already have everybody. I don't need to buy another set of Masters figures again. I'm already doing that with Chronicles. I'm full in on the Chronicles stuff. Origins, it's like, I think they're finally starting to temper down, and we're getting the re-release again of Snake Mountain this year, which again is insane. The fact that we've already gotten the re-release of Case of Grayskull end of Snake Mountain. People are speculating we're going to get another Eternia. They're insane. We're not doing that again. The next one should be after Snake Mountain, should be the Crystal Castle. We don't have enough Princess of Power figures to quantifiably get the Crystal Castle at all. We just don't. Princess of Power was mentioned, but again, they're keeping very tight-nipped about what they want to do with other stuff. I feel like Cartoon Collection will be the way we get Princess of Power figures, because we got a lot of characters from Princess of Power through that. So that's why I think it will end up being. But we are getting the Shadow Beast as a Build-A-Figure and one of the masked creatures, the dragon, as a Build-A-Figure. And look, do I want both of those guys? Yes. However, I am patient, and I know stores like Toy Department or House of Plastic, Comics to Games, they're going to get these figures in bulk, and I will, Toy Department, I know, does sell Build-A-Figures, like just by themselves, so you don't have to buy the whole set if you don't want to. So I'll wait for my Shadow Beast and my Masked Creature. I'm fine with doing that. Origins for me going into next year is just creations. I'm not buying anything at retail because there's not going to be anything of my interest at retail. Now, if they put out figures that I missed, I will get those. Like if they put out a Squeeze or a King Hiss again, I will gladly pick those two up because I missed them. But everybody else is just a rehash again, just of different colors. I call it the card art Masters of the Universe line, because like we have the Sketch Series line, Origins. This is all based on the card art from the back. So like this is the card art Motu line, which again, we don't need another line of Motu Origins figures. I really feel like we are, we're rehashing again and again and again. And I really wish they would have done something unique. Like the He-Man is just the toy He-Man with a more slimmer body and a new harness. That's it. The Skeletor looks exactly the same, minus his demon feet. They look like whole new sculpts. But the rest of it looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. Zodak has a new paint job. Trapjaw looks more like the toy. So like when you look at Origins Trapjaw now compared to the vintage toy, his eyes are a little bit more sunken in, a little bit more black, but mine's still fine. Like it's still the same Trapjaw I've had for almost 3 years. Like I don't get the distance behind it. Legends are different. Like when you think of other lines that redo the characters again, like we've already, they already did a refresh pack of He-Man and Skeletor last year with the accurate toy heads and the full swords, and they did reissue the first comic book if you missed it. It's like we've already done this already. So I'm so interested to see how these do sales-wise, because Motu doesn't do well on the sales floor and retail enough as it is. So I'm very curious to see whether or not this new revised version of Motu Origins does any better. I don't think it will, because people are going to be complaining about that, we bought the wave, we got the Build-A-Figure, but then they find out it's a army builder. You can't do it again unless you want to buy that whole wave again. And so I think scalping will be a big, unfortunate thing for the revised Motu Origins line going into 2027, unfortunately. Now, let's get into my new bread and butter. That is Motu Chronicles. Origins, for me, is just about as close to done as it can be. I am strictly focusing on those creation figures, and then Origins to me is complete. I'm happy. It looks so good, and we're finally get the figures to finish out this line, and I'm very happy with it. I have everybody that I want, and I'm very excited with that. Chronicles, I want to just go in. I want to get the blue armored He-Man. I want to get the weird looking Tila. I want to get those amazing Sky Slits. The Panther looks so good. The redesigns of Clawful, of Merman look so interesting and unique and different. Like, they are going in such a different direction with Chronicles than they were with Masterverse. Like, Masterverse had New Eternia, which is probably the best subline of Masterverse was New Eternia. Everybody can kind of go with that. My favorite figure of my 3 favorite figures are all from New Eternia based, being the Sunman, the Pighead, and the Trapjaw. All 3 of those are from New Eternia stuff based for Masterverse. Chronicles It's just new Eternia on better bodies. It just is. Because like no matter how much I say I adore this figure, I do, but I think the Chronicles line is just better. I love the aesthetic of these figures very, very, very much. But I think as a collector, I think Chronicles is just better to me. I really do. And they're finally in competition with everybody else. And again, I mentioned this in the Summer Series 2026 Part 3 video. I'm so excited to see what Mattel does with the DC license and Ninja Turtles license going forward in the next year. Like, could you imagine if we get a proper 6-inch scale line of Ninja Turtles with that kind of articulation? That'd be insane. It'd be really insane. And I'm excited to see what they do with it. DC also. And let crossovers ensue. DC, Marvel, Turtles, let them all play with each other. I'm so excited to see what they do with that stuff. Origins will probably get the majority of the crossover stuff, although it'd be really cool if we get like 2-packs, so like mimicking the old Mattel 2-packs of Superman and He-Man, and we'll see what happens. Big things. I can see that being a Comic-Con exclusive next year. You know what? Remember this from me. I'm guaranteeing you, next year at Comic-Con, there will be an SDCC 2027 exclusive based on the original Mattel He-Man Superman 2-pack from way back in the day. With the new modern figures, modern articulation, they might do like a comic version of He-Man to go with the Superman, and that's the big reveal for DC's new 6-inch line from Mattel is that 2-pack. That'd be really fucking cool. I really want that to happen now. I'm going to put that out in existence. We'll see what happens. Synergy. But we also know now how the first 4 waves are going to work. We're going to get 2 new characters and 1 movie figure. So I believe wave 1 is He-Man, Teela, and then the movie figure is Mechanic. Wave 2 is Clawful, Merman, I believe, and then Spike Ore. And then the third wave would be Fisto. It would be, from the movie, it would be the Man-at-Arms that they teased. And I don't know who that third one would be in the wave 3. I know they mentioned there's a picture of all 3 waves. Wave 4 we don't know, but we know the first 3 waves for next year. And then the vehicle being the Sky Sled, which looks like a such sick redesign of the Sky Sled. Where was that in the Motu movie? That would have been so fucking cool. But that's all of Motu from Mattel. They talked about the new stuff for Chronicles, the revised edition of Motu Origins, where we are with the line, what we still need, what we're still getting, and I think PowerCon will answer a lot of questions in September. That's when I think we're going to get a lot of the answers that we want will be that weekend. I think we'll have reveals for the for Chronicles for Wave 4. I think we'll get the official like what the revised Origins is going to be, and I think we're also going to get the confirmations of what the last of these previous 3 lines for Origins and Cartoon Masterverse are going to be, and where they're going to be moving forward. I think people would be irated if Cartoon Collection becomes a Creations exclusive thing, because it's already hard. It's not hard to get the figures at all, but like certain pieces like the Slime Pit instantly sold out. And so, you know, you have to also judge where you want to go pick this stuff up. Like the Battle for Eternia Core Grayskull Snake Mountain pack. Been looking for it for almost a month. Finally shows up on Big Bag Toy Store. So it's very cool. Like if you're patient, things will pop up where you want them to pop up. And that's how that'll roll. But Mattel came to play. Mondo came to play for Motu. But I don't collect Mondo right now. We'll save that for a tease. Big Bag Toy Store and their waitlist thing is very intriguing. But that's Mattel in a nutshell. We got a lot of cool reveals at the panel. High praise about the film. Did not do well. However, it's streaming the shit on Amazon Prime right now. Everybody's watching it on there when they're not seeing Spider-Man, which is insane. But Mondo came to play. Mattel came to play. And I also want to mention Hot Toys came to play with all those glorious, glorious Avengers Doomsday Hot Toys. I want all the X-Men. All of them. That'll happen. But until then, like, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the Mattel experience at San Diego Comic-Con. And also, if you went to Comic-Con this year, was it better? Was it worse? Did they screw things up? Did they screw people over? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hall H isn't worth it anymore. I'll talk to you guys later.